It's not cheating if nothing happened, she said when I found texts planning to meet her ex at a hotel this weekend. I didn't argue, just said okay and went to bed. She thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. I moved out while she was at work the next day. She came home to an empty apartment and a node. Now something happened. I left. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. The steam from the bathroom wrapped around me like a ghost as I stood there holding her phone. I hadn't been looking for it. A notification had lit up the screen face up on the coffee table where she'd left it. Mike, can't wait for Saturday. Harbor Suites, room 412. I'll be thinking about you. The blood in my ears made a sound like static. My thumb, moving of its own accord, tapped the screen. No password. She never bothered around me. The thread was a roadmap to a weekend I wasn't invited to. A week of planning, talk of what she'd wear, what he missed. Her messages were eager, punctuated with laughing emojis and winking faces. My eye-skin dates times this Saturday, 2 days from now. The bathroom door clicked open. Sarah emerged wrapped in a towel, her skin pink from the heat. She was smiling, reaching for her moisturizer. You'll never guess what Stacy said at work today. She began, then stopped. She saw my face. She saw her phone in my hand. The smile didn't fade so much as shatter and reform into something defensive and sharp. What are you doing? My voice came out flat, a neutral tone I didn't recognize. Who's Mike? A micro flinch, then a performative sigh. Mike from college. I told you about him. What? And why are you planning to meet him at the Harbor Suites this Saturday? Room 412. The color drained from her face, then rushed back in 2 red spots on her cheeks. She snatched the phone from my hand, not to look, but to clutch it to her chest. You went through my phone, it lit up. I saw it. That is a massive violation of trust. She spat, her eyes wide with manufactured outrage. I can't believe you'd snoop. I wasn't snooping, I said, the calm in my voice unnerving even me. It was right there, the message was right there, so is the rest of the conversation. She waved a hand as if swatting a fly. It's just talk. He's going through a divorce, it's messy, he's lonely. I was just going to be there for him as a friend. I looked at her, the woman I'd shared a bed with for 4 years. I knew every curve of her smile, the cadence of her laugh. Now I watched a stranger perform a bad play. It says, and I quote, I haven't been able to stop thinking about that weekend in Miami. You replied, me either. This time let's not leave the room. I recited the words like reading a grocery list. That's you being there for him. Her lips pressed into a thin line. She crossed her arms, the towel gaping slightly. She didn't bother to fix it. You're taking everything so literally. It's just flirty banter. It doesn't mean anything. It means you made a plan to meet an ex-boyfriend at a hotel. It means you hid it. I didn't hide it, she insisted, her voice rising. It just never came up, and for the last time, it's not like I did anything. Nothing happened. There it was. The cornerstone of her defense laid out with such absolute breathtaking arrogance that I actually felt the anger leave my body. It evaporated, leaving behind a crystalline, silent clarity. It's not cheating if nothing happened, she said firm, nodding as if this was an immutable law of the universe. It's just words. You're really going to blow up our entire relationship over some hypothetical text messages? Over nothing. I looked at her, the defiant set of her jaw, the eyes waiting for me to crumble, to agree that I was being unreasonable, emotional, literal. For 4 years I'd loved her. I'd planned a future in my head, a future with her at the center. I'd forgiven bad moods, supported her career shifts, been her rock when her father was sick. And here she stood, reducing a calculated betrayal to a semantic debate. The love I felt didn't break. It didn't even hurt, it just switched off like a light in an empty room. I took a slow, deep breath. The static in my ears was gone, everything was quiet. Okay, I said. It wasn't a sigh of defeat. It wasn't a grunt of anger. It was a simple final acknowledgement, a period at the end of a sentence. She blinked. The defiance flickered, replaced by confusion. Then a dawning, smug satisfaction. She mistook my clarity for capitulation. She thought I'd seen the flawless logic of her lie. The tension melted from her shoulders. A small, victorious smile touched her lips. "Good," she said, her voice softening back into its normal tone. She turned and walked toward the bedroom, tossing a comment over her shoulder as if we'd just decided what to watch on TV. "Can we order Thai for dinner? I'm starving." I didn't answer. I walked to the window and stared out at the deepening twilight. I heard the hairdryer start in the other room. Okay. The plan began to form in my mind, not as a rage-fueled fantasy, but as a simple, practical to-do list. A mental inventory of what was mine, the location of my important documents, the number for a 24-hour moving service I'd seen on a truck once. The balance of our joint account, mostly my money as it happened. The emotional storm was over. The cleanup would be clinical and it would be absolute. I went to the bedroom. She was at the vanity blow drying her hair, humming. She caught my eye in the mirror and gave me that smile again, the one that said, "See, that wasn't so hard." I got into bed fully clothed and turned my back to her. I didn't toss and turn. I lay perfectly still, eyes open in the dark, mapping my exit strategy with a calm, surgical precision. The last thread of us had been cut. Now I just had to walk away from the tapestry before she realized it was already unraveling in her hands. The alarm went off at 6:30 a.m. Sarah stirred beside me, grumbling, and hit snooze. I lay there counting her breaths until they evened back into sleep. Then, with the precision of a surgeon, I began. I did not look at her. I slid out of bed, dressed in yesterday's jeans and a hoodie, and walked into the living room. The first thing I did was take a photo of the note I'd written hours ago in the dark, propped against her favorite mug on the kitchen counter. A digital timestamp, proof for myself more than anyone that I had done this calmly, that I meant it. I opened my laptop at the dining table, the one we bought together at a flea market. I found the website for Metro Movers anytime, anywhere, and clicked the 24/7 chat. Me. Need 2 movers in a mid-sized truck for a 2-hour job today. Starting ASAP, 1-bedroom apartment, just a few large items. Agent, we have a crew available at 9 a.m. Me. I'll pay a 50% premium for a crew at 8 a.m. Agent, give us 20 minutes. I transferred the deposit without a flinch. Money was just a tool for freedom now. Then I packed. I worked not with grief, but with a focused, sterile efficiency. I took the 2 large suitcases from the top of the closet and filled them with my clothes, my shoes, my winter coat. I left the sweater she'd knitted me badly 2 Christmases ago draped over the chair. I emptied my bedside drawer, passport, birth certificate, social security card, the watch my dad gave me. I left the silly photo booth strips from a friend's wedding. From the living room, I took my PlayStation and my laptop. I left the TV we'd bought together, the throw pillows she'd picked out, the bookshelf that held mostly her novels. From the kitchen, I took only the high-end chef's knife I'd bought for myself and my favorite coffee mug, a plain black one. I left the fancy espresso machine we'd saved for, the one she used every morning. I left the coffee maker too. Let her buy her own. The movers arrived at 8:05. 2 bored-looking guys named Luis and Dave. I directed them with quiet, short sentences. That desk? Yes, just the plain one, not the white one. The guitar case and the amplifier, please. The gray filing cabinet, that's it. They loaded my life into the truck in under 40 minutes. The apartment looked lopsided, not empty, but wrong, like a smile missing key teeth. It was a violation of the life we'd curated, and the sight of it filled me not with sadness, but with a grim sense of correctness. I did one last walk through the bathroom. My razor was gone from the counter. My towel was missing from the rack. The bedroom, my side of the closet, was a hollow cavern. My suitcase, the one I used for work trips, was gone from under the bed. I stood in the doorway of the room where she still slept. Her hair fanned out on my pillow. I felt nothing. No last paying of love, no fury. She was just a person in a bed in a room that was no longer my home. I closed the front door softly at 8:52 a.m. I did not listen for the click. I walked downstairs, handed Luis a cash tip, and gave him the address for a storage unit across town I'd rented online an hour prior. Then I got into my own car. I drove to a bland mid-tier extended stay hotel on the other side of the city. I paid for a week in cash. The room smelled of artificial citrus and stale air. I set my suitcase down on the floral bedspread. Silence. It wasn't the silence of loneliness. It was the profound, absolute silence of a decision executed. The white noise of her presence, her moods, her expectations, the low-grade anxiety of the last 24 hours, it was all gone. For the first time in years, the only thing in my head was my own thoughts. I powered on my phone. A barrage of notifications flooded the screen, a digital tsunami breaking against my newfound calm. 3 missed calls, Sarah, 1 new voicemail. Text messages. Sarah, 9:17 a.m. You didn't wake me up. Where are you? Sarah, 9:45 a.m. Are you at work already? Call me when you get this. I could picture it, her waking up late, scrambling for work, the first flicker of unease when she saw my side of the closet. I put the phone face down on the nightstand. I took a shower in the small plastic stall. The water pressure was terrible. It felt amazing. When I got out, the phone was lit up again. Sarah, 10:31 a.m. My TV is gone. What the hell? Sarah, 10:33 a.m. You took the coffee maker. Are you serious right now? Sarah, 10:45 a.m. I'm calling your work. Sarah, 10:52 a.m. They said you called in sick. What is going on? This isn't funny. I ordered a mediocre club sandwich from room service and ate it at the small desk, watching the traffic on the highway below. The phone buzzed intermittently on the bed, a trapped insect. 1 new voicemail. I finished my sandwich, wiped my hands, and finally picked up the phone. I pressed play and put it on speaker, leaning back in the cheap chair. Her voice was high, tight with a panic that was just beginning to curdle into anger. What the hell? Where are you? Are you serious right now? You just move my things, you just take stuff in the night. This is insane. We need to talk like adults. Call me the second you get this. A beep. The message ended. I looked at the time. 11:30 a.m. She'd be on her lunch break, sitting in the apartment that was now just her apartment, surrounded by the ghost of my absence, staring at the note. Now something happened. I left. I imagined her reading it. I imagined her brain so adept at twisting logic, trying to contort this. He's overreacting. He's trying to teach me a lesson. He'll be back. But the missing furniture, the empty closet, they were facts too solid for her semantics. For the first time, her words had met an action they couldn't explain away. I powered the phone off completely. The room was silent again. I laid down on the bed, the stiff sheets unfamiliar against my skin. I closed my eyes. I didn't sleep, but I rested in a way I hadn't in years. There was no argument to rehearse, no hurt to nurse, no confusion to untangle. There was only the quiet, irrevocable truth of what I had done. The first move was complete. The game for me was already over. She just didn't know she was playing alone. For 3 days, I lived in the sterile bubble of the hotel room. I didn't turn my phone on. The silence was an active project, and I cultivated it. I got a temporary membership at a gym 2 blocks away and went every morning, pushing my body until it was too tired to feel anything but its own exertion. I bought a new coffee maker, a simple one, and drank from my black mug at the small desk, looking at apartment listings online. I was a ghost building a new skeleton, and the process was peaceful. On the 4th morning, I powered on my phone. It chimed for a full minute, a symphony of delayed misery. 17 calls, 8 new voicemails, countless texts. I listened to the voicemails in chronological order, my face impassive. Voicemail 1, day 1, 12:15 p.m. Panic. Okay, you've made your point. This isn't funny anymore. Where are you? Call me. Voicemail 2, day 1, 6:47 p.m. Anger. My mom is freaking out. My friends think you're a psycho. You can't just abandon shared responsibilities. The rent is due next week. You call me right now. Voicemail 3, day 2, 10:03 a.m. Confusion. I went to Mike. I told him what happened. He said it was too much drama. He hasn't texted me back. Is this what you wanted? Voicemail 4, day 2, 11:30 p.m. Tears, raw, messy crying. Please just come home. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It was a mistake. I didn't go. Doesn't that count for anything? I deleted them all. Then I scanned the texts. They told the same story in reverse, anger crumbling into bargaining. The final text sent last night was a single line. We need to talk, please. I had just finished my coffee when the phone rang in my hand. Sarah. I let it ring 3 times, then answered. I said nothing. Hello, are you there? Her voice was raspy, thin. I'm here. A sharp intake of breath. Oh, thank God. Listen, you need to come home. We can fix this. There's nothing to fix, I said, my voice even. I've moved out. You'll need to cover the full rent or find a roommate. I've already spoken to the landlord. I'm off the lease as of the 1st of next month. He has my forwarding information for the security deposit. The silence on her end was stunned. She hadn't expected logistics. She'd expected emotion. You talked to the landlord already? Yes. So that's it? You're just going to throw away 4 years over nothing? There it was again, the cornerstone. I almost smiled. It wasn't nothing to me. But I didn't go, she wailed, the tears returning. I called the whole thing off. I chose you. Doesn't that matter? I looked out the window at the gray sky. Whether you went or not is irrelevant, Sarah. You wanted to. You planned to. You defended wanting to. My leaving isn't a punishment. It's just a consequence. It's not a negotiation. You're being so cold, she accused, a new note of hysteria creeping in. This isn't you. Who does this? It's me now, I said simply. Goodbye. I hung up. I blocked her number. The silence returned sweeter than before. The karma, as I predicted, announced itself through other channels. Her friend Lisa texted me from a number I didn't recognize. Lisa, hey, it's Lisa. Sarah is a wreck. She's not eating. She's going to lose the apartment. Whatever she did, is this really worth destroying her life over? Just talk to her. Be the bigger person. I stared at the message. Be the bigger person. A phrase used exclusively to ask the wrong party to eat more. I didn't respond. I blocked that number too. A week later, a voicemail from an unknown number bypassed the block. Her voice was shaky, hollow. He used me. Mike, he just wanted an ego boost. He's back with his wife. My friends, they're saying they told me so. My mom is so disappointed. I have to move in with my cousin because I can't afford the place alone. Please, I need you. I'll do anything. You win. Okay, you win. I deleted it. You win. She still saw it as a game with a score, not a bridge she'd burned. I found an apartment, a modern one-bedroom with a view of the river. I bought new furniture, piece by piece, choosing only what I liked. I immersed myself in work, and my boss, noticing the sudden focused output, put my name forward for a major project. I started going out with colleagues, relearning how to have conversations that didn't revolve around someone else's emotional weather. 6 months dissolved. Sarah became a memory with the emotional weight of a textbook fact. The hurt was archived. Then a text from an old mutual friend, Kyle, who'd always been decent. Kyle, hey man, hope you're good. FYI, Sarah knows you'll be at the Oak Barrel for Jake's thing tomorrow. She might show. Thought you should know. I replied, thanks for the heads up. I wasn't worried. I felt nothing. The Oak Barrel was bustling for a Thursday. Jake was holding court at a large table surrounded by friends from different chapters of life. I was there leaning against the bar, nursing a whiskey, laughing at something my coworker Maya had said. I felt easy in my skin. This was my life now. It was good. I saw her the moment she walked in. She looked effortful. Her hair was styled a new way. Her dress a little too dressy for a pub. Her makeup perfect but thick. She scanned the room, her eyes landing on me. There was a desperate hope in them that flickered and died when she saw my expression. A polite blank slate. She weaved through the crowd. I didn't look away. I just waited. Hey, she said, stopping a few feet away. She smelled of a familiar, expensive perfume. Hello, Sarah. You look really good, she said, the words tumbling out. Healthy, successful, at peace, all the things she wasn't. Thanks. I didn't return the compliment. I took a sip of my drink. The silence stretched, screaming at her. She took a sharp breath. I've been in therapy for months now. That's good, I said, the way you'd acknowledge a stranger's claim about the weather. It is. It's made me see everything so clearly. What I did with Mike, the text, it wasn't about you. It was a cry for help. I was insecure. I was lost. I never ever meant to actually lose you. Her eyes were wide, glistening with manufactured sincerity. It was a rehearsed speech. Then the kicker delivered with a fragile smile. I didn't cheat, you know. I almost laughed. There it was, the final clinging thread of her narrative. Even now, even after all of it, she needed to win the semantic argument. I set my glass down on the bar with a soft click. I looked at her, really looked, and saw only a person who had once been important. There was no charge left, not even negative. I believe you that you're working on yourself, I said, my voice calm and clear. That's good for you, but it has nothing to do with me. She flinched. It has everything to do with you. You're why I held up a hand, gentle but firm. Stop. The word wasn't harsh, but it was absolute. You were right about one thing that night. Words matter. Your words showed me exactly who you were and what you thought of our relationship. My action leaving was just me believing you. She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. The script was failing. You didn't lose me, Sarah. I continued, my tone that of a man stating simple facts. I left, and in leaving I found a life where I don't have to monitor hotel reservations or debate the definition of respect. I found peace. I saw it then, the true dawning horror in her eyes. It wasn't about my anger or my pain, which she could have worked with. It was about my indifference, my complete and total emotional vacancy where she once lived. She was a ghost to me. I picked up my drink again, nodding toward my friends. This chapter is closed. I've moved on. I sincerely hope you do too. But that's your journey, not mine. I met her gaze one last time, offering a final quiet truth that was more devastating than any insult. Goodbye, Sarah. I turned and walked back to the table. Maya nudged me. Everything okay? Who was that? I slid into my seat, the warmth and laughter of my friends wrapping around me. I took a sip of whiskey, the smooth burn a pleasant anchor in the present moment. I glanced back once. She was still standing where I'd left her, a statue of irrelevance in the middle of the happy crowd. I turned to Maya and smiled. A real easy one. No one, I said, just someone I used to know. And for the first time since reading that text in a steam-filled living room, I knew it was the absolute unshakable truth. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.